Malaysia, a scholarship recipient Lim Yew Heng expressed his gratitude towards Tzu Chi volunteers. Child abuse might have negative impact on the victim's character build-up and interpersonal relationship. Selamat datang ke DaAi Headlines, saya Simo Gan. Terima kasih menyertai sesi berita kita. Welcome to DaAi Headlines. Thank you for joining us. Tzu Chi volunteers in Malacca gave out long-term care, which helped scholarship recipient Lim Yew Heng throughout his schooling years, and finally being able to get into a college. Let's take a look at his story.
On behalf of Tzu Chi scholarship recipient Lim Yew Heng, his mother read out a thank you letter written 4 years ago while volunteers listened.
Tzu Chi has been with us for 17 years. Many Tzu Chi brothers and sisters came into my life. Before the holiday, I want to express my gratitude and best wishes for every Tzu Chi uncle and aunt.
When Lim Yew Heng was 5 years ago, his father left the family alone with massive debt. With no help and under such tough circumstances, Lim Yew Heng's mother sought help from Tzu Chi.
Actually, at that time, it was tough. I have to sell gold and jewelries. It was pretty much a dead end for us. You might not know that before, when I faced such pressure, I did not know who to talk to. I just wanted to say that I want to die.
The single mother brought up 2 children alone and was emotionally and mentally scarred. Tzu Chi volunteers came to her life and brought love, letting her walk out of sadness.
Tzu Chi has helped us so much. If they can do it, we can do it. When you give, of course, you are happy. It's better to give than receive.
From helping with life supplies to education expenses, volunteers encouraged Lim Yew Heng to study further, to change the family's fate. 3 years ago, Lim Yew Heng fulfilled expectations. He had made it to college.
When I heard that he is entering college, I felt very comfort.
This scholarship helps a lot to a student, and from another perspective, it is actually a reward. When you try your best to give and receive the scholarship, it provides you a sense of achievement. The scholarship also helps you better your future.
For 17 years, volunteers have cared for this household, inspiring Lim Yew Heng to study harder and become a better person. Now Lim Yew Heng joins volunteers in conducting home visits, giving warmth to more people in need.
In Indonesia, the school's opening date has been delayed till August. For a religious school in East Java, before the students started school and returned to the dorms, they underwent screening tests for COVID-19 virus in Jakarta.
In East Java, a Muslim religious school has stipulated that students must undergo screening tests before returning to school. Students must prove that they do not have coronavirus before they can return to the dorms. A hospital and Muslim charity organization has joined hands to subsidize impoverished students' screening fees. 2,000 students have gone to the hospital to undergo screening tests. The test result will be given to the management personnel at the religious school.
Ya, kalau untuk rapid test sendiri, hasilnya bisa langsung didapat sekitar kurang lebih 20 menit gitu ya.
The quick screening test result will come out in 20 minutes. If the result is positive, we'll conduct tests on the student's nasal and throat area. The result will be available after 3 days. We will provide a red paper. We'll give the test results to the school staff, and they can allow students to be under observation again.
Berkoordinasi dengan pihak pondok bahwasanya anak ini masih reaktif. Untuk pemeriksaan lanjutannya dikonfirmasi dengan menggunakan swab.
Students' parents said that after screening tests, they feel it's safer to let their children go to school.
My child must have the screening test result in order to return to the dorm. I'm grateful that there are organizations that help us undergo the test for free. However, I feel nervous waiting for the test result. We can undergo the screening test as long as we have recommendation letter from our neighborhood leaders.
In Jakarta, Indonesia, for the past 5 months, children have lessened their outdoor activities. Recently, some parents have changed their children's schedule, such as enrolling them for gardening lessons.
During the epidemic time, Lina and her husband hold children's gardening class using this 200 square meter land. This is Lina's house in North Jakarta. The class is held twice a month, attended by children between the ages of 6 to 12. Students are required to wear masks and maintain a social distance of 1 meter. The class only takes in 10 students. They experience growing vegetables and making compost, getting closer to the nature.
This class can remind children who do not like to eat vegetables or do not cherish food that there is a long process before food is sent to our dinner table.
Makanan karena prosesnya tuh panjang loh, bisa jadi suatu bahan makanan gitu.
During the 5-month epidemic time, the children were forced to stay home. Therefore, they're excited about coming out to join activities.
Learning about gardening allows us to understand how vegetables are planted. We can eat more healthily.
The children have benefited from the 2-hour gardening class.
In Indonesia, many people do not dare to go out to hospitals during the pandemic. Experts point out, as long as they take some precautions, they can seek medical treatment without worrying about contracting the virus.
RSUI Hospital is implementing epidemic prevention measures, hoping to lead other hospitals to do the same, allowing hospital staff to work without worries and letting the public seek medical treatment safely. Upon entering the hospital, people must first measure their body temperatures and test their oxygen content level. Then they also have to report their contact history with COVID-19 patients.
Kami sudah membuatkan suatu alur, jadi dari
We have drawn out the check-up area. Upon coming into the hospital, patients know which area to go. There are green, yellow, and red zones.
3 zonasi, hijau, kuning, dan merah.
After screening, patients can head to the green area and register to see the doctor. If patients belong to the yellow area, they'll go to an outdoor registration area and see the doctor outdoors. Patients who belong to the red area will go to the isolation area to undergo further screening tests.
Fasilitas juga di kami memang sudah
Our hospital is prepared. For instance, our negative pressure isolation rooms are reserved for patients who tested positive. This is separated from our regular clinic. Patients who seek medical treatment can feel at ease.
Besides conducting strict screening tests, the hospital's negative pressure isolation room does not allow air inside the room to flow outside into non-contaminated areas. It will prevent the virus from spreading through the air.
Child abuse victims' psychological traumas will have negative impact on their character build-up and interpersonal relationships. While their physical wounds might heal, their psychological traumas might take a much longer time to heal. Let's learn more about how we can help child abuse victims.
她刚来，她的卫生习惯都很不好。
When she first came, she had a poor hygiene and did not like to talk. If you asked her how was she doing, she would not answer. She had no friends at school. She played by herself.
Xiaoling was abused by her father. After assessment, social worker decided to settle her down in foster family.
寄养家庭通常是最后一步。
Settlement in foster homes is usually the last resort. It is difficult to educate a victim at a foster home. We need a patient person to provide consultation.
能够来辅导他。
好，吃了，先吃了。
7th grader Xiaoling should have been a happy teenager. However, due to the abuse she suffered, she has been suffering from depression for 2 years.
The doctor has diagnosed that Xiaoling has depression and lacked concentration. Doctor has prescribed antidepressant for the child.
长期的一些后遗症包括忧郁症。好，
The side effects of child abuse include depression, PTSD, anxiety, lack of concentration, learning disabilities, or conflicting behaviors.
In the beginning, she kept stealing things. She was stealing almost every day. But since this semester, she has not been stealing.
According to research, the psychological trauma suffered in one's childhood will have an impact on one's behavior development and interpersonal relationships.
他的脑部也会因为重复的被施虐。
Due to repeated abuse, the child abuse victim's brain will be damaged. He will grow up differently, and his physiological trauma is related to his brain.
After setting children down for several years, they still have a long way to go. before they can return home. The healing of a psychological trauma is very important.
大小要排好。
The foster mother does not spoil Xiaoling. She teaches her and helps her change her wayward behaviors.
When she first came, she did not do her homework. Without consulting, she will write down the answer as number 1. Now she will read the questions and write her homework.
Having been a foster mother for more than 10 years, Lin Shuling has helped 9 child abuse victims. Their emotions and behaviors are usually different from most children.
After being abused for a period of time, children will have post-traumatic syndrome. For instance, some child abuse victims cannot sleep at night. They scream and have degenerative behaviors, including peeing on the bed, and they do not trust people.
The child abuse victims' wounds might heal, but their psychological traumas are hard to heal.
你请你画一个人好不好？随便都可以。有些个案它其实
Some abuse victims will draw about how they are hurt. We can understand the age they reflect and their thoughts and emotions.
This is a picture drawn by 5th grader who has been abused. The teeth are so sharp that we worry that they might have some emotion
你有
problems.
没有什么时候会让你想哭的？被骂吼。
有些小孩子被虐了之后，
Some children will have wayward behaviors after being abused. Some people start taking drugs. Some will become violent as they interact with other people.
暴力他要用更暴力去对付别人。
The vicious cycle of violence is a common phenomenon in the world before abuse victims undergo psychological counseling.
那你难过的时候、哭的时候呢？你最想要妈妈帮你做什么？抱抱是哦。
The sad children need love and care, which is a good medicine for healing the psychological trauma.
身体的伤会好。
The physical wound would heal, but the psychological trauma takes a very long time to heal. It takes a long time and has side effects.
Psychological trauma suffering one's childhood will affect one's physical and mental health when they grow up. It is important to prevent domestic violence from happening. Let's harbor gratitude and tell children that we appreciate them for being born.
An online seminar was held by Tzu Chi Foundation, Tzu Chi's United Nations team, and Singapore's Tzu Chi Humanistic Youth Center. The seminar brings up the topics of climate change and related topics. This is to inform the young generation and to broaden their horizons while taking action. Let's take a look at the highlights of the event.
Hydration is a process of removal of water and increasing the shelf life. So the farmers can now process the produce and use it for their own consumption.
A young entrepreneur named Nidhi from India shared how she provided food preservation technology to farmers. Singapore's Tzu Chi Humanistic Youth Center, Taiwan's Tzu Chi Foundation, and Tzu Chi's United Nations team collaborated to initiate an online seminar. The seminar hosts the topics on climate change, and the meeting also provides a platform for socialization amongst young people.
The Asia headquarters of the United Nations is in Bangkok. This is why we hope to bring nearby subchapters like Malaysia, Thailand, Indonesia, and the Philippines, using the universal language of English to understand world issues.
When we talk about weather emergencies, the effects are more direct to the next generation, not ours. For example, my children, the young people now, and their next generation will be affected. I hope through the power of the younger generations, we can bring more change.
You probably don't realize how much food you really eat. So for example, every person in Singapore actually consumes about 43 kgs of rice per year.
From Singapore's food issues to the global food problems, speakers from different countries and organizations shared their thoughts, letting 200 seminar participants online further understand the big picture and encouraging taking action.
Choosing more sustainable produce, choosing brands that support transparency, support sustainability. Those are all some small ways that we can do something to help. It might not seem like we can do a lot, but there are many small ways and small steps that we can take to slowly nudge the needle.
The future of this planet is within the young generation's hands. In order to create the healthy and continuing environment, every small act matters.
Also in Singapore, a green charity sale was held. The event promoted the idea of cherishing food. Event coordinators also collaborated with local food waste units. Under the collaboration, seemingly useless food waste are now compost. The act of cherishment cut kitchen waste in half, contributing to the continuation of our environment.
Tzu Chi volunteers based in Singapore started their collaboration with international schools and hospitals in the area to sort food waste produced by the Green Charity Sale into raw cooked food.
In the past, we would normally throw the kitchen waste as if they were trash because no recycling was carried out, so there was a lot of garbage. This year, in order to reach the goal of zero waste, we plan to recycle kitchen waste, trying not to waste these resources.
Food waste occupy 10% of total waste produced in Singapore, but only 18% of food waste are properly recycled.
In Singapore, kitchen waste recycling isn't a commonality yet. This is why some store owners in the charity sale even do not have the proper mindset when it comes to dealing with kitchen waste. Now we teach them how to categorize kitchen waste and to tell them what is right to recycle and what is not suitable for recycling. These ideas are important.
In order to follow the trend of resource sustainability and zero waste, the guideline of reducing usage and recycling have now become the kitchen waste management principle for advanced countries.
Tzu Chi Environmental Education Station is located in a mountainous area between Wulai and Xingdian in New Taipei City, which is surrounded by beautiful scenery. The area is also a water source protection area. Recycling volunteers recycle along the three streams, just like the guardians of the rivers and mountains. Due to the emigration of the young population, most of the volunteers are elderly and have been taking care of the earth with their lives for more than 20 years.
The green hills lined with green water is a palette of nature, blending in shades of light. With such beautiful scenery, some people silently protect the view. Winding up the mountain road is Cho Jin-shou's home. The most eye-catching are the Tzu Chi recycling station, built by tin huts, and the iron clothes worn by grandmas. In midsummer, the cicadas outside are chirping, overwhelming grandma's murmur. Silver-haired volunteers like grandmothers can be seen everywhere at Tzu Environmental Education Station, though the body degenerates, but the effort does not surrender. In the Wulai Mountain District of New Taipei City, Tzu Chi Environmental Protection started in 1996, when Lim Yew Heng, the owner of the motorcycle shop, provided a venue for charity.
We used it to be the second Sunday of every month as the big recycling day. At that time, we were doing recycling at the motorcycle shop of Sister Mei Li. After that, it extended to Guangxin, Wulai, and then to the All Points, all extending from this point.
Until April 2008, Cai Wenji, a benevolent person, donated land and officially established the Tzu Environmental Education Station. Organic vegetable gardens and lotus ponds give this place a lot of life, but it used to be overgrown with weeds.
It was originally a wall, but with iron sheets, which is neither beautiful nor safe. After the typhoon swept through, the iron sheets here would fly everywhere and easily injure people. So we decided to replace the iron sheets with plastic pallets we recycled.
In such a large garden, there are bluebird vines, which are very rare plants. The little sunflower here, with the sun, you can hear insects and birds, which is my happiest thing.
Surrounding the recycling station is an important water source protection room, which is also one of the main sources of water for residents of Great Taipei. Recycling volunteers turn trash into resources and take care of the cleanliness of the Huichui Reservoir.
Master said that just do it. I just keep doing it. I've been doing it for 10 years. I used to be a mechanical maintenance worker and badmouth a lot, but now I have changed entirely.
Doing recycling is good for body and mind.
The environment is quiet, but far away from the crowds, very people can come here.
To be honest, there are not many people here, so we all know each other and have a good relationship. After the compressor is installed, it saves efforts. Because I used to step on, sometimes I would slip or fall accidentally, and the shoes would break quickly.
Now only my husband and I are at home, and I feel much more cheerful when I come to the recycling station. I was in pain before.
Here's like a secret place in suburbs, but also a place for the soul. Recycling volunteers are here to protect the earth while bonding with one another.
足歡喜啦！啊，就安尼行走路就足歡喜啦。有家的感覺，我真的把它當成第二個家。
Tzu Chi volunteer Yew Heng of Myanmar was feeling unwell and had a pale face, so he went to the hospital in July and found out that he had the final stage of liver cancer. 9 days after he was hospitalized, he passed away at the age of 61. His family was in deep grievance. Fellow Tzu Chi volunteers also helped them with the funeral and prayed that he would return again.
The parting came rather too quickly. Tzu Chi volunteer 090 was discovered to have severe jaundice in late July, and the doctor found out that he had a final stage of liver cancer. He passed away 9 days after he was hospitalized.
He was wearing an oxygen mask, but he was having trouble breathing, and now he doesn't suffer anymore. The master hoped he would go quickly and return quickly.
Tzu Chi volunteers go to the hospital and pray for him, attend his cremation, and also hold a memorial for him.
In the past, my mind was rather chaotic, but it is better now. Many things help me change my mind so I can continue doing good deeds.
When he was lying in a sick bed, he kept saying that he didn't want to leave because he had so many things not done yet, and many Tzu Chis needs his love. When he was in the hospital, he wanted us to keep playing Tzu Chi songs to him.
I promised that if there's something my brother wanted to do, I will finish it for him.
For over a decade, 090 had never missed various volunteer work in Myanmar, such as free clinics, distributions, and camps. He also took part in documenting the events and drove senior volunteers every day to the Tzu Chi office to attend the master's morning teachings.
Whether it was raining or he seemed tired, he still drove us to attend master morning teachings every day. He always showed up.
His life stopped right here, but the spiritual scenery he painted with love will never fade away.
US Tzu Chi headquarters have been promoting vegetarianism online for 2 months, recruiting over 2 million vegetarian meals. We'll leave you with these images. Thank you and goodbye.